Hi, my name's Daniel Boyce with Supply Physical Therapy, and while recently watching the Joe Rogan Experience, I was actually really surprised to have them bring up a product that we sell on our website, but I was even more surprised when I saw that they actually brought up our actual website on the Joe Rogan Experience. So I have a lot to comment about it since I've been in the industry for a little while, but let's just shoot on over and take a look at the video itself.
Yep.
To push out.
Yep.
And so that is what expands your back.
Yep.
Do you do,
Just to put things into context a little bit, at this moment, Joe Rogan is speaking with a guy named Peter Attia. And if you're not familiar with who Peter Attia is, he's actually the founder of Early Medical, and he's a pretty well-known doctor for his work in things like longevity medicine, which is essentially the extension of human life and well-being. And while he's having a conversation with Joe, they're having a discussion around how to appropriately stretch prior to doing a workout, specifically around deadlifting. And at this moment, that's when Joe asks him if he does anything for decompression prior to an exercise.
any decompression in terms of, like, you ever use one of those teeter decks tables? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Not the ones that hang by your ankles, but the one where you hinge.
No,
from
the only
waist.
thing that I do decompression for is my neck. So I have a device at home every day. I do 10 minutes of neck traction.
Oh, you do one of those?
Yep.
Do you do one with the inflated one that you pump up, or do you do the hang one?
Did he just say a hang one? Yeah, no thanks.
So it's called a Saunders machine. You lay in it, and it grabs your mandible and your occiput, and it pulls you up, and you adjust the poundage. So I do 25 pounds for 10 minutes.
What's the machine that you use? What's it called?
It's called a Saunders. I bought it on. There it is. Yep.
So this is the machine itself.
Interesting. Because I have one where I hang. That looks safer.
This is much safer.
Yeah, Joe, this is a lot safer. So we'll talk about it in just a moment, but this is really interesting that Peter brings this up as a better solution to, I guess essentially hanging yourself.
Because you would start somebody out like at a much lower poundage.
Jamie, will you send me this link? Thanks.
But you don't have any cervical disc issues, do you?
I have. I've had them. Yeah, I had.
So I would do this
discs.
under the guidance of a physical therapist just to make sure.
I would 100% reiterate what what Peter's mentioning, and the fact that you would definitely want to make sure you're consulting a physical therapist at this moment, or a doctor or something similar. And if not, at least do a little bit of research yourself. And you'll notice that when that website pulled up, that was actually our physical website that came up, and one that hopefully is helping to give a little bit more guidance and insight, which we'll talk through in a moment.
That they tell you how. I mean, are you literally hanging by your neck right now?
No, not fully.
But like, do you know how much weight? How much weight are you?
I just have one of these things that it hooks onto a door.
Yeah.
The top of the door, and I pull the thing like this, click, 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 click.
Oh, okay.
And then I can choose to, like, lean into it and put more weight. Like,
Again, no thanks.
let it make my my neck decompress more, and then I can pull it up more, and so it gets to like this.
I got it.
I'm hanging there, but it feels good.
Where is the
I like
pressure being applied? More in the front or more in the back?
Bolt.
Okay.
It's a strap, and you tighten it down with Velcro, and it's like, ah.
Okay, I don't know about you, but I definitely don't want my face to look like that when I'm in any device. So I definitely see the advantage, and what I'd like to do is actually kind of educate you a little bit more on the specific device itself. So I'm going to switch over to the actual video of the Saunders cervical instructional video. The purpose behind this is just kind of walk you through how you'd actually set it up so that way you can use this device safely, as Peter says he does on a regular basis. So one of the things you'll notice is that the device itself can actually be used at different angles. So what you're going to want to think about is what angle is appropriate for my body. Now, if you don't have a recommendation from your doctor, you're not exactly sure, my recommendation is to start at the lower increment, which is the 15 degree. You'll notice it goes 15, 20, and then the highest is 25 degree setting. I again would recommend, as you can see him move it all the way down to the lowest setting if you're starting off for the first time. You also heard Joe talking about poundage. He talks about 25 pounds, but until you are accustomed to using this, definitely don't start off with 25 pounds, start at the lower setting. One of the first things you're gonna wanna do to actually start using the device is you're gonna use that pump, and you're gonna move that all the way over to where you saw release, and then as you push it, the button, it's going to release it all the way down to until it hits the bottom. At that moment, you're going to loosen the strap in preparation for putting your head in it. One of the really unique things about this device that is very different from just hanging yourself is the fact that you actually have the ability to customize it to fit your neck and your size. So what he's doing right now is he's moving the knobs to open up the actual cushions on each side of your neck. And what you're going to want to do is make sure you're opening it wide enough to be able to put your neck in, knowing you can manually alter it later after laying down. So at this point, it's going to go through the applying of the device. So when you apply it, you're going to want to make sure the strap is above your eyebrows and make sure that the actual cushions themselves are in the thin part of your neck. So right in between where Joe's talking about the mandibles and where your collarbone would be. And you're going to be able to feel exactly where it feels comfortable. So as you're tightening it, you'll be able to feel it tighten right below your jaw. That's where you want to make sure it's nice and comfortable there and your head is comfortably back. At that moment is when you can actually strap on the strap. At this point, you're nice and secure and you know you're not going to have any pain while using the device, because there should be zero pain while using this device. One of the things he's doing now is he's checking the time, just so that way he can time how long he's going to actually be using this. And now that you are rested and you're secured, you're going to take the pump and you're going to transition it to actually pump. As you're doing this, just do 1 or 2 small amounts of pumps to start, because again, your body's not accustomed to this. You've never done this before. And so you want to make sure that the pump itself is actually lifting up appropriately. You're going to see that the cushions themselves are slightly going to move. And then on top of that, you may want to readjust the knobs to the left and right of the device. Once you feel nice and comfortable, you can hit hold and just rest for a few moments. If you rest for a few moments, it allows your spine to get acclimated to what you're feeling, and then your body can normalize and get ready for the actual pumpage for the next step. So once you transition to the next step, you're actually going to begin pumping and making sure that you're applying the appropriate amount of pressure. Once you have it at the level of pressure you want, you're going to transition it to hold like you saw, but do not exceed the amount of traction prescribed by a healthcare provider or maybe by yourself. Make sure that you've done at least a little bit of research. At this moment, you'll notice that it's showing that it's a really sensitive needle. So as you're going in and you're actually pumping, it's going to apply pressure based on the exact amount of pressure you think is appropriate for your body. So do it nice and slow. Don't start off with 25 pounds like Joe or like Peter Attia was doing, but make sure that you're just applying an appropriate amount. Once you feel like it's the appropriate amount of pressure or it's at the level that your doctor has prescribed, that's when you can move it over to hold. One thing to note is you will slightly notice that pressure will start to drop roughly by 8 to 10%. And the reason that this happens is because the pressure itself is actually going to drop due to your spine settling, because again, you're extending your spine. So as it starts to relax, you will release, just like you saw him do in the video, all the way down, and then start pumping again. That way you can make sure it is at the appropriate level of poundage. So again, if it does end up leaking a little bit, it doesn't leak from the device itself, but what is actually happening is your spine is starting to relax or your body is moving. So the process is just to make sure that you transition it back, release it, pump it, and then hold. Just make sure that you're only maintaining roughly around 25% of force at all times. Once you're done, at that moment, you can take a look at the device, move it back to release, and you'll see the device slide all the way back down. Then you'll use the knobs to release the actual neck cushions. And at this moment, you don't need to move yet. One thing I would recommend is just waiting a little bit. You can undo your strap at your forehead, but wait 1 or 2 minutes and move your neck and head up and down like this, and move your head left and right. What's going to happen is it gives you the ability to get reacclimated to this device and making sure that you can stand back up appropriately. So now what I like to do is just quickly walk you through a video of the device itself on our website. You can see the device here on our website, and this is everything that comes with it. So it comes with everything you'll need. A few things just to note is that when it comes to the benefits and reasons a lot of individuals like this device, one, as you saw, it is extremely safe. It's obviously something that a physical therapist would recommend or a doctor would recommend. So we'd recommend using whatever their approach would be. But it is a very safe device and it's effective. Within a few days, you should be able to feel the benefits of decompressing your spine. And it's also very easy to use. That video is as simple as it gets, and it's not overly challenging or complicated, and you definitely don't have to hang yourself. On top of that, this is going to come with everything you need. So everything you saw in the video will be included in this actual package when you receive it. On top of that, you'll also have the ability to make sure that the neck wedges will be a fit to any different size of neck. So if you're a child, if you're a middle-sized adult or an elderly adult, it should fit to any different size individual, and it applies up to 50 pounds of traction force, but we do not ever need to go that high until you know for certain that you actually need that. It will have different degrees of angle that you can make the device start off with. My recommendation is to start off with the lowest setting, again, 15 degrees, and then if you need to increase to 20-25, you can. And as I mentioned before, it includes everything you need. Now, we obviously put on the website that we have featured Joe Rogan, because why wouldn't we? But lastly, there's actually a 12-month manufacturer's warranty with the device. So if you do have questions or if you have any challenges with the device, we do recommend looking up more YouTube videos similar to this one. We do everything we can to inform and educate our customers, hence the reason why the website showed up first for Joe and everyone else, because we do try to make a purposeful decision to educate and inform. But the manufacturer would be the best to reach out to if you have any defective issues or any problems with the device. So I do hope this video was educational. I hope it was helpful. Definitely like the video if you found it helpful, and subscribe to the channel so that way others can find these great assets to help them better learn and understand the videos and the products that we're selling. And most importantly, if you have any comments or any questions, go ahead and fill out those comments in the comment section below. Thank you very much. Hope it was helpful, and let's get back to living.